Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fontin. I'm an author, YouTuber, and speaker, and welcome to the Twin Flame Channeled Messages from Angelic Presence. If you've never checked out this playlist, please do check out the playlist. I'll put the link right there after this video. Today, I wanted to bring something to you because I've been feeling this intense energy in the air of pending something huge happening in the Twin Flame Collective. I've felt like it's almost this suspension energy, like we've been suspended in the air. It's almost as if you were watching a movie and you see like people falling from a plane or something like that, and the screen immediately goes to slow-mo, and it almost appears like they are just like floating mid-air, and then all of a sudden it goes to normal mode and they just continue to fall to the ground. You know, you see that a lot in action sequences, right? Action movies, action sequences, where right in the middle of the fall, they tend to have this real like suspension or slow mode. It also happens a lot in cartoons, of course. But I've been feeling this like suspended energy in the Twin Flame Collective, almost as if we've been on hold and like something is due for an upgrade. Something is due to be happening that is huge, big, enormous. To that end, I made the decision to consult with the angels today and just have a look at what's going on in the Twin Flame Collective when it comes to Twin Flame reunion, when it comes to Twin Flames that haven't quite met yet, and just other questions that I had for the angels. If you're new here, do subscribe below, click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. Thank you for giving the video a thumbs up, and thank you for sharing this video with other Twin Flames. If you're new to this format that I've done in the past for Twin Flame channeling, of course, this is like a podcast. You're not seeing my face here. You're seeing a stock video of nice swirly whirly colors. But I do this because the way I channel is I channel before I record, and this is in most cases, not in all, because of course when I'm doing my weekly reads, I am channeling as well. But I really like to get deep while I'm channeling like an entire thing. So since I channel before I record, what I do is I write it down, and it's not very entertaining to have me reading from a piece of paper on video. So when I started this a while back, I decided to do like a podcast format, which tends to work very fine. So what I do in the beginning is I'm going to read what I channeled, and then after I read what I've channeled, I'm going to go over it with my interpretation of what that angelic conversation was about. I do this in a letter format with my angels, so I'm writing it down, and it's kind of like we're writing letters back and forth to one another, and that's just how I've always done it. So with no further ado, here is the conversation that I had with the angels. Dear angels, can you please help the Twin Flame Collective understand where we are at when it comes to Twin Flame reunion? In other words, will Twin Flames be coming into 3D physical reunion soon? The question you ask is very complicated. We do see many Twin Flames coming back together. You will see a huge surge in energy which will cause Twin Flames to come closer than ever before. It's almost like the magnetic attraction between Twin Flames will bring them together. They will not be able to resist it. Dear angels, you mentioned that the question I asked is complicated. Why is it complicated? Well, you see, dear one, some Twin Flames haven't finished the tasks they need to do on their own. So while the attractor energy may be ready for them, they need to complete what they set out to do. Dear angels, thank you for that. How will Twin Flames know if they have completed the tasks on their own or not? You will feel it. You will feel a sense of unease, like something isn't quite right in your life. Dear angels, what if the other Twin Flame, or the divine counterpart, is the one with unfinished tasks? How will the Twin Flame who has finished their tasks know? Because the issue with the unfinished business will continue to come up. Dear angels, but what if the Twin Flame couple has no 3D contact with each other? Then how will they know? You will still feel tied to them in some way. You won't feel free. So in parentheses, this is Michelle just popping in here for a second to explain briefly. The angels then urged me to explain what I write about in the book Twin Flame Union, and I'll explain that after the channeling. Dear angels, I think I understand that. You mentioned an energy surge that will bring twin flames together. When will this energy surge occur? Within the next few months. Things will change a lot for the human race. Many changes are taking place. Dear angels, is there anything that twin flames must do to prepare for this energetic surge? Those who are prepared, and those who are not, are not. The work you've previously done will account for what is about to occur. It's too late in the game to act now. The mounting energy is already taking place. You will see it soon. Dear angels, what about the twin flames who still have work to do or tasks to complete? Those will become more apparent now. They will not be able to ignore what needs to be done. Thank you, angels. Dear angels, another thing I would like to ask you is about twin flames who never meet in person. What is the purpose of those twin flames? In particular, I mean a person who feels their twin flame is an actor or celebrity or someone famous, a professional they have hired but whom they've never met in person, or someone they've seen on social media but haven't made contact with in person. Twin flames activate, and they come here to activate. The point of activation is to alarm you that something isn't quite right and that your life is not going in the direction that it must go in. It's like the morning alarm that goes off, but that is a little too far out of reach for you to turn off. And so you must get up and cross the room to turn off the noise. In most cases, not all, the remote twin flame is chosen to activate the unawake person. It matters not if they meet in this lifetime. They will meet eventually. The point is to put them on the fast track to healing. Dear angels, I get it. Thank you. Dear angels, is there something else that you would like to tell twin flames at this time? Stay steady on the course. You are almost there. Your twin flame loves you and will be with you soon. For those who have chosen another path, you will revisit this one. Celebrate, for your new life is coming. Thank you, angels, so much. I love you and I appreciate your guidance and support. We are obliged, dear one. So that was the channeling I did, and it was relatively short and sweet, as you might have seen. The one thing that I really want to speak about is this energetic surge that the angels spoke about. And it's interesting because, that's not vocabulary that I would particularly use. When they said energetic surge, it almost made me think of sticking your finger in a light socket, and, in cartoons, you see, a person who sticks their finger in a socket, they have their hair all, crazy, pictures of Einstein. That's what I imagined, someone being electrocuted or struck by lightning. So, again, it's probably not the vocabulary that I would have chosen to use, but it's the vocabulary that the angels chose to use in this channeling, which I found pretty funny. But I guess you get the point, right? So according to the angels, there's a huge energetic surge that is up and coming that is going to cause twin flames to come back together in 3D reunion. I thought of two things. So as I was channeling that message about the energetic surge and twin flames together, the imagery that was brought to mind was that of the magnet. Now, of course, when people explain the twin flame connection, the yin and yang, they often explain it in terms of the magnet. And I've done this as well, where there are two sides of a magnet, and if you try to put together two magnets with the same side or same polarity, it just doesn't work. They will constantly repel one another. The image I got was with this energetic surge that twin flames will be magnetically attracted to one another as if they were at polar opposite ends of that magnet, but really a really strong magnet will pull them back together, whether they want to or not, whether they like it or not. And of course, one further thing that the angels did mention is that the twin flames who have completed their tasks on their own, who have done the work on their own, will be those that will be magnetically attracted to one another in this energetic surge that is up and coming. And another thing that the energetic surge that they talk about that it made me think of that enormous portal of energy that opened in 2017 to 2018, I should say, that caused hundreds of thousands of twin flames to awaken at the same time. And I do speak about this in both books, in Twin Flame Union and in Twin Flame Romance. I speak about it on my YouTube channel over and over again. But it reminds me of that portal where in 2017 through the end of 2018, hundreds of thousands of twin flames awakened whether they wanted to or not. Hundreds of thousands of twin flames met their twin flame whether they wanted to or not, whether they even knew what a spiritual awakening was, or whether they knew what a twin flame was, or they didn't know any of the above. It happened. It was like the portal was so vast, wide, open, big, energetically strong that it caused an upheaval in hundreds of thousands of people's lives because that's what Spirit wanted. And I was getting the feeling as I was channeling this message that within a few months from now, whether it's now or 4 months from now, I'm not really sure when, they didn't give me a precise timeline. Of course, angels are really good at that, at being super vague about timelines. I get it. We've had these conversations before. But let's just say between now and the next 4 months, let's give it that, right? For me, a few is 3, but we'll stretch it to 4. I feel like the energetic surge that the angels are talking about is identical, if not stronger, to the one that happened in 2017 and 2018. Where it's kind of like if you're going about your business and you're like, I just forget about this twin flame journey, I just don't want to do it anymore. And your divine counterpart is like thinking similarly that the energetic surge that happens, it's going to throw you guys into physical reunion, whether you want it or not. It's gonna happen. So I find that pretty interesting, and it certainly will be interesting to see what happens in the next 3 to 4 months. Another thing the angels just brought to me as I was saying that is that this energetic surge is not only going to cause twin flames who have been apart, right, met but separated, into reunion physically. It is also going to bring another humongous, that's what they're saying, not my words, but their words, a humongous wave of twin flames. Just like in 2017 and 2018. So the twin flames that are in separation, who are ready to come into reunion, will be in reunion, and those that are unawake are going to awaken in large quantities. So that'll, like I said, that'll be an interesting thing. It'll be super interesting. I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing what's happening there. Secondarily, what I want to talk about is the angels mentioned something about if you are still feeling tied to your twin flame, then you still have work to do. You still have tasks to complete. This is very subtle. Let me just emphasize that right now. Because on some level, you're always going to feel tied to your twin flame, but the subtlety in this is something I did write about in, I want to say, the last chapter of my book before the conclusion. I think it was the 7th key. I'm pretty damn sure it was the 7th key. I wrote the book recently. I should remember this. But if you haven't checked out my book, Twin Flame Union, The 7 Keys to a Healthy Twin Flame Journey, please read it. It's going to be very enlightening for you. Because my angels held my hand and guided me through that entire book. And it also comes from experience of over 1,000 twin flames that I have read for. And my own personal experience on top of it. So, anyway, let's go back to the explanation. The angels mentioned about being tied to your twin flame. So, what I explain in my book, and I'll just give you a very brief synopsis of the paragraph that they're referring to, is when I felt soul union with my twin flame, which happened remotely twice. It didn't happen in person so much as remotely. Soul integration, in other words. And I explain that whole process in the book. And I think I even talk about it in one of the channelings as well. And also in our group coaching, we talk about it. But when I felt the soul integration, reintegration with my twin flame, and it was the second time it happened, but it was a lot stronger, but it happened in April of 2022, I felt that we were united as one, but the word I used was untied. And it was a mistake. I didn't mean to use that word to describe it. It just came out. And what that meant was that the entanglement of all the karma, the entanglement of the push-pull relationship, the entanglement of the runner-chaser dynamic, all of that just dissolves into nothingness. It dissolves into nothingness when your souls are reintegrated because there's no reason for it. The polarity is gone, right? There's no reason for you to have this dichotomy of light and dark, good and bad. It's just, you transcend it completely. So once you've transcended that on some level, right, you're still human. You're still going to experience the dichotomy, the yin yang, right? You're going to still experience that. But on a very subtle spiritual level, you're not going to have that anymore. Because oneness is oneness. Oneness is indivisible. You cannot divide something that is a spirit in a spiritual whole, if you will. So that was what the angels were referring to. And if you're still feeling that push-pull, runner-chaser, you're still feeling hot and cold with your twin flame, you're still feeling karmic ties in some way to your twin flame, you're still feeling like they trigger you every time they talk to you or text you or don't talk to you or don't text you or whatever it is, then that is what they are talking about being tied together. It's being tied by something other than purity. That's what they're speaking of. And only you can determine that. Only you know if your souls have been reintegrated. And that can perfectly well happen now in the physical realm, meaning like while you are still living here, soul reintegration can still happen. You don't need to be up in heaven in order for that to happen. It can still happen here. And I know that's really hard for some of you to understand, and it's hard for you to understand, well, if we're not together physically, how can that happen? Well, because the spirit is not confined by a body. It lives and experiences life through the body right here, but it's not confined to the body, right? I mean, it's so beyond what most people comprehend of this spirit. The body is just a vehicle through which spirit can experience things, right? Like smells, taste, touch, sight, emotions, right? That's the way the spirit can experience these things. But it's not necessary for the spirit to have the physical body to exist, if that makes sense. So that is, in a nutshell, that is what that means. I don't know if that was totally beyond your comprehension or you're like, yeah, I totally get it. It's very cool. I get that. The other thing I did want to mention before we sign off here is they had said that if you have work that you still need to work through, you'll just feel a sense of unease in your own life. You'll just feel this sense of something not being complete, something not being fully integrated in your own existence. And that's just something that you're going to need to work through, right? So it's not something that you necessarily need to do with your twin flame, but it's just something that you need to do on your own. So I hope this was helpful, twin flame. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for subscribing to the channel below. Click on the bell, scroll up to all for all notifications. And thank you for giving the video a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing this video with other twin flames. And thank you so much for your support of my YouTube channel. You can buy a book or 2 or 3. You can join a boot camp or a meditation course. You can also join our group coaching, and the links are below. And I will see you in the next video.